Good evening, viewers, and welcome to another edition of the Social Development Outlook. I am your host, Shania Pemberton. And just to remind you that this program is hosted and produced by the Communications Unit within the Ministry of Social Development and other related departments. At this point in time, we'll take a break and be right back. And we are back. Join us as we celebrate with Mr. Clarence Hendrickson on his 100th birthday.
It is indeed an honor to be here today to celebrate with my dad his 100th birthday. It has been a long journey for him, and it's an iconic milestone that he has just accomplished. And we want to thank you all for your presence here today, giving of your time in order to celebrate with us. Firstly, I would like to recognize in our presence today the Honorable Mrs. Hailita Liebert, the Deputy Governor. Also, I would like to recognize the Honorable Eric Evelyn, Minister in the Ministry of Social Development. Also, Honorable Spencer Brand, Nevis Island Representative for Charlestown. Representatives also are here from the Social Services. Ms. Trudy Prentice, Coordinator, Senior Citizens Division, Mrs. Angela Challenger, Community Caregiver, St. Paul's Parish, Ms. Jamaica Morton, Official Assistant. Sorry, am I not coming to you? And of course we have the Communications Unit, NNC representative. We have the manager of City Drugstore, Mr. Tyrone Hendrickson. Clarence Hendrickson was born in the village of Burden Pasture on the island of Nevis on the 20th of September 1922. His parents were Ada Williams and Patefield Hendrickson, born on the island of Nevis also. At the tender age of 5, he unfortunately lost his beloved mother, and as a result was allocated to foster parents, as his father, who had left the island earlier to seek employment elsewhere. This sudden disruption to his normal routine and the change in his environment was devastating for him, as he found himself at the mercy of foster parents who themselves were childless and lacked the ability to demonstrate parental love and affection to a little boy who was lost and lonely in a world that could have seemed to him as cruel and uncaring. He was deprived of his fundamental rights of an education, and as a result he received very harsh and sometimes authoritarian conditions and he had to endure. He has a brilliant brain, and who knows what he might have been had he been given the opportunity. He was forced to work for his upkeep, rising early in the mornings with very little to eat. He would proceed to labor in his foster parents' small holdings and continue until the end of day when the sun was setting. He was forced to work for his upkeep, rising early in the mornings and with little or nothing to eat, proceeded to labor in his foster parents' plot until the end of the working day as darkness descended. I may have repeated that, sorry. Now, as he grew older, he was able to escape the clutches of his cruel family and eventually made connections with his half-sister, and together they formed an unbreakable bond. using their initiative, their resilience, and their survival instinct, and were able to make a life for themselves. As he matured into a fine specimen of a man, he soon fell in love with a young lady from Bansgott village by the name of Evelyn Richards, whom he eventually married and with whom he has a lovely family. In 1957, the opportunity presented itself to him to emigrate to the United Kingdom, where he established himself, sent for his wife and family, who joined him in this new and exciting adventure. Together, they both worked hard, had 3 more children, and being very astute and family-orientated, they were able to establish themselves as responsible citizens in the community in which they lived. Having lost his beloved wife in 1997, he decided to return to the island of Nevis, where he has remained until today, his 100th birthday. We as a family, both here and abroad, extend our heartfelt gratitude and our love to our beloved father, Papa as we refer to him, for his parental guidance, his love, and his care throughout the entire period of our lives. May God bless you, Pops, on this your special day. A happy birthday, and we love you. Bless you.
Thank you.
Please permit me to adopt the protocol that you established before, but please allow me to greet Mr. Hendrickson.
Most appreciated.
Good afternoon, sir. It is an honor to be here. It is always an honor for me to be in the company of someone who has lived to love, to teach, to help, to train, and to make us all who we are. And although I was not acquainted with Mr. Hendrickson, I was very acquainted to other persons who have gone through similar situations and have made their mark in this world and has made it really, really good. And I believe that is the same with you, especially when I hear your son speaking so well about you. I just want to praise God for your life and thank Him for allowing you to be here with us today. And as you celebrate 100 years, we say thanks to you for contributing to our country and to other parts of the world. When your children have been over the world, then it means you touched many places and you touched many lives. And you have done well, and you look very well today. Isn't he handsome? Yes. He is. I just want to say a very happy birthday to you, and I wish you continued health and continued strength until your time comes to go. I am always in good company when I'm beside especially a gentleman who reaches 100 years. Because guess what? My dad reached 106. So I am in good company. I want to wish you all the best. I want to wish you a blessed birthday. And I also want to bring to you greetings from His Excellency, the Governor General, Mr. Tapley Seaton, who has sent his regards to you, and you will hear from him subsequently. God bless you, and thank you all for having me.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. And let me say good afternoon to all. Let me greet the Deputy Governor General, Her Honor, Mrs. Hailita Liburd, my cabinet colleague, the Honorable Spencer Brand, the staff from my department, Social Services, NTV, and the Communication Unit, and of course all of the family members and friends who are here. And I especially greet the gentleman of the hour for today, Mr. Clarence Hendrickson. Now, it is indeed a pleasure and a privilege and an honor for me to be here this afternoon to celebrate this milestone with Mr. Hendrickson. And when I stepped up here this afternoon and I saw the gentleman, I was wondering if this is the gentleman who is making the century today. Because he doesn't look like somebody who is making a century. And I can say, Mr. Hendrickson, that you are looking exceptionally well for 100. Very, very well indeed. And of course, we are here from social services because normally once anybody reaches this milestone, we are here to honor them and to show them our love and our appreciation. And as I spoke about how well Mr. Hendrickson is looking, I have to comment on the fact that he has worked extremely hard over the years. Very, very hard. Of course, you would have heard from his son, and I would have read a little snippet as well, that before he migrated to England, he would have worked diligently in the field of agriculture. He would have worked very hard in the sugarcane as well as the cotton industries. And I also understand that he worked at the cotton ginnery as well with the processing of cotton. And then after he would have journeyed to England, he would have worked in the chemical industry with the production of paints and dyes, and then he would have worked with British Rail as well. And I always say that when people live this age, I believe a lot of the times, they live this age and look so well because they have worked hard. People who work hard always tend to look better and live longer. Right? And so I believe that we are here today for this milestone, and I believe we'll be back, whether here or somewhere else, next year, and the following year, and the following year, and who knows when. But I just want, on behalf of social services, to say a very happy, happy birthday to you, Mr. Hendrickson. I want specially as well to commend the family members who are here, because I understand that he resided at the Flamboyant home, but he's now back at his home in Craddock Road. Am I correct? And it is always good when family members can take care of their own. When persons reach this age, they prefer to be at home. And so I really want to commend the family members highly for making that decision to ensure that your dad, your grandfather, is at home. So I want to commend him for all of the hard work that he has done in Nevis towards the development of the island. And I have to say as well, maybe because he worked in agriculture, why he was so fruitful. Because I understand that he bore 12 children, am I correct? And many grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And so his legacy will live on for a very long time. Mr. Hendrickson, a very, very happy 100th birthday to you. May God continue to bless you abundantly. He has done so. He has been faithful to you. He has been merciful to you. And I trust that he will continue to bless you abundantly, especially with good health. So on behalf of us at Social Services and the City Drug Store, we want to wish you a very, very happy 100th birthday. God bless you. Now, I will now make a presentation of a plaque and a basket.
Thank you, sir.
And the plaque reads, Social Services Department, Certificate of Recognition awarded to Clarence Hendrickson on the 20th of September 2022 in recognition of your 100th birthday, signed by Mr. Keith Glasgow, the Permanent Secretary, and Sandra Maynard, the Director of Social Services. And as I said, it's done in collaboration with the good folks at the City Drug Store, and we have a representative of the City Drug Store here with us today.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I want to say a very extra special good afternoon to the celebrant this afternoon, Mr. Clarence Hendrickson. Of course, I want to recognize our Deputy Governor General, Mrs. Hailita Liburd, my cabinet colleagues, Mr. Eric Evelyn, and all of the family members, children, grandchildren, friends, and loved ones. Mr. Hendrickson, I came with a kind of preconceived thought process. But when I walked in this afternoon and I shook Mr. Hendrickson's hand, I said to him that he doesn't appear to be a man who is celebrating 100 years. I said to him that he almost feels like he's a 16-year-old person. His handshake was extremely, extremely strong and powerful. And I believe that from the lesson that we have read this afternoon, we hear about love and God and blessing and all of that. I am one who believes that God has been good to Mr. Hendrickson. Because from what I heard from his biography, it showed that his start in life was a little challenging. But I want to say to Mr. Hendrickson, thank you. And I guess you might be wondering why I'm thanking you. And I'm going to tell you why I'm thanking you. I want to thank you because you did not allow your start in life to hinder your progress and your advancement in life. And I oftentimes wish that this is a message that our young people can gravitate to. It is not how you start, but it's how you finish. I want to thank you for your wonderful children, because you would have made a contribution to humanity through yourself and also through your children and to your grandchildren. I believe that your legacy will live on for many, many, many years to come through your children and through your grandchildren. I also think that while we reflect on your 100 years, and while we reflect on how you would have started and where you are now in life, I believe that all of us can take a page from your life, that once we put our trust in God and our faith in God, that anything is possible. Anything is possible. For to think that you would have left Nevis, going to a faraway land, unknowing as to what the future may hold, you kept your faith in God. And I want to say to you, thank you for being that example. I want to say to the children and the grandchildren, here we have a lot of wisdom. Here we have a lot of wisdom. I have learned so much from my mom. She's 92 years. There is no college or no university or no school can teach me what my elders have taught me. And I want to say to the children, and especially to the grandchildren, take as much from right here as you can, because he will teach you life experience. And if you have great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren, put them at his feet and let him teach them what life is all about. Because I am not certain if most of our people really appreciate and understand what life is. And here we have a reservoir of knowledge and experience that can teach the next generation what life is. So, Mr. Hendrickson, I want to say to you, happy 100th birthday. I want to say to you, on my own behalf, and I would even dare to say on behalf of all the people of Nevis, because you have made a remarkable contribution to the island of Nevis and to the development of Nevis. And we are indeed thankful and grateful for your contribution. So, happy 100th birthday. Congratulations. And I am looking for another strong handshake when I'm ready to leave. Mr. Hendrickson, congratulations. And I will now make a brief presentation on behalf of, it's a small token, but it's just a little gesture of our love and appreciation to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me adopt the protocol that was so ably established by the son of Mr. Clarence Hendrickson. Another one Hendrickson to another, of course. I have quite a bit of family members who live to see 100, 103, 102, thereabout. Susanna Hendrickson being one of them, who is my great-grandmother. So, I mean, being a Hendrickson, it seems like it's only natural that you can live to see some years like those, you know? Yes, so I'm happy to be here, well, to represent the Hendricksons, but now to represent the City Drugstore and by extension the TDC Group. And, you know, we are always in partnership with the Social Services Department in giving back to our seniors who have reached some milestone years, and we are happy to continue with this tradition. And I am happy to pass on this little token along with the others in recognition of Mr. Clarence Hendrickson's 100th birthday. Here you go. And being 100 is a blessing, and I am happy that we are here to share in God's blessing on Mr. Hendrickson. And I'm sure everyone here is truly blessed to be here to witness this and would like to see that for themselves too. And I would just like to end by wishing you good health. And, you know, with the help of the Lord, you would continue to experience good health and live to see as much more years as He allows you to. So, with that said, good afternoon to everybody.
Good afternoon to each and every one. My name is Orville Brown, and you may be asking, who is Orville Brown? Suffice it to know that I was born here, and I'm a native son. I should have been here handling what he's handling, but in this great island called Nevis, I got lost.
Is that big?
Yes, I got lost. But I just want to stand here and congratulate Clarence Hendrickson. We daily call him Pops. We refer to him as Pops because all his life that's what he has been. And I just feel honored and privileged to be standing here at this time of his life and ensuring that we all push out the love that he pushed into us. He pushed the love into us, and now we're pushing it back into him. And we just hope that from now on, he continues to enjoy his life. Thank each and every one of you for coming out.
So, good afternoon to the. My name is Roy Brown. I am his eldest grandson. So there are many that are not here that I know wish could be here. So on behalf of them, Pops, I'd like to wish you a happy birthday. I still remember back as a child growing up in England, you know, the fun things that we did. Most notably the races that we had. You know, I was probably, 12 or so. Thought I was pretty fast at the time, but you kind of came along and showed me that I was not. We would run races, myself, Michael, and he would run backwards and watching us running towards him, you know. He would beat us all the time. But I just want to say I have, memories like that, that are important to me, and just fond memories of you and the things the times I had with you as a child while I was in England. I was only with you till I was 12 when we migrated to the States. But I just want to thank you for being there for your family. I'm a person that reflects on family quite a bit because it really shapes who we become as adults. And I think that when I look around and I know the family because I'm a part of it, I admire the way that they have rallied behind you and supported you through the years.
Just to say greetings everybody and happy birthday Dad, or Pops. Living with my dad has been fun, from the Caribbean and moving on to the UK. It's been fun all the time because he loves children, and I remember in the UK when it's Christmas time, it's he feels like a king in his castle. And from the beginning of the year, he will start gathering presents for all his children, just laying them up in store in the basement. And, I used to take special notice because everything he does, I used to be always there watching him. If he's painting or whatever he's doing, we just, you just felt good with him. And he's good company. He's an entertainer. He's a storyteller, and there's so many more gifts and talents that he's shown among us, and it's just fun being with him. And right up to the Christmas time, we just get entertained. You see the grandchildren wrestling with him on the floor, and you remember all those good times. So we just want to celebrate his birthday and just to say You know, there's a saying that says in the Bible, a good man lays up in store for his children's children, and that is how he is. He's always laying up in store, put inside some money from his pension, and when his children come and visit him, or his grandchildren, he's always stretching out a hand to give them something. And, you know, we admire him and we appreciate him, and we want to say we are so happy to be here to celebrate with you, Pops. So hope you have a good time, and we all going to have a good time today. Amen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I'm Rita, third child of Pops. And I'd just like to say that we've always loved him. We couldn't understand why he came back down here and left us all up there. we got very upset, but that's what he wanted. So he came back and he spent a good few years down here. All his grandchildren love him. There's lots of friends that grew up with me, and all the other children calls him Pops and send regards to him, lots of them that I know. They've been texting me, sent cards down, very close. They were very close to him and the mum, really. And the grandchildren all loves him. The great-grandkids have come up to love him. And my daughter says, Pops is going to be here till he's 120. And he's not going anywhere according to what she says. So,
good afternoon, everyone. And thank you all for really coming out today. It's really a privilege to have you all here with us today to celebrate my grandfather's 100th birthday. It's been emotional because I've listened to the speeches, I've listened to what people have said, and it's been so touching. I live with my grandfather here in Nevis. I came back not knowing what I was going to do. When I came back, I left my job in England and I came back to live with my grandfather, and I've been here with him for about 6 years. And it's just such a privilege to be around him. I was around him when I was young, and then coming back here as an adult to be around him again is just such a blessing. You learn so much from older people, you know, their experiences and their advice. They've got so much wisdom to share with you. So I love being around my grandfather.
And that's our package for this evening. Do remember to tune in next Tuesday for another edition of the Social Development Outlook. Good night.
We are now on Facebook and YouTube. Like, share, subscribe.